Phantastic Feast. I'm your host, Thuy Phan. Today we are making a dish that I learned how to make through one of my cousins or my sisters. It's a riff between what my mom taught me and what my cousin taught me as well. So it's a modified version of steamed ginger and scallion fish. And this is a dish you've probably seen if you've gone to any type of Vietnamese or Chinese wedding, but they use flounder. But this variation of it, I think it's easier and the fish is meatier. I use a golden pompano fish, and that's something that you can find in a lot of stores and have them butcher it for you, cut off the fins and clean it out and so forth. But you can substitute this fish for either snapper, bass, depending on some type of whitefish. You can even do fillets if that makes it easier for you. But I found that I really like this style of fish, and it's a very easy and simple dish as a lot of the things that we cook here. So I'll show you how to do that, and it's obviously very healthy because it's steamed. I'm gonna start with the ginger. Obviously we won't use all of this, but I'll cut this off and do this. You just peel off the skin really thinly. Some people like to use the back of a spoon to peel off the ginger. You can do that too. It's a little bit safer if you are not comfortable using a knife, but I find this is a little bit easier for me. See how thin it is? The thinner you can get it, the better. And so now that I have these little piles, what I'll do is I'll julienne it really thin. So you're looking for shreds that are about this thin. They're really thin and very finely cut. And I would say slicing this is probably the thing that will take the longest for this dish. Okay. So your ginger's julienned, sliced. Put that over here. And I'll switch the garlic. And this addition of garlic is purely because I like garlic, so you don't have to add garlic if you don't like it. I just like to flavor it with it because I enjoy it so much. So I just smash about 3. And these are the French shallots, and I like them better because they're bigger than the little ones, so they're easier to cut. I love the color on it. And this is the part that I would say is the addition that my mom showed me that I really liked, so I added it. I just cut into rings. So we'll cut off the ends here, but I save the white part so I don't cut off too much. Cut that off. And like I said, these I will always save to stick in the ground because they'll regrow. Okay, and at this point what you do is you cut them to about 3 inches, about this big. Okay. And then from here you will cut them so that they are smaller, and splice them. This is one of the few dishes where you actually save the white part and you actually want to use that. And while I'm slicing all this, I have a pot of water on to boil. If you have a steamer, that will make life a lot easier. I don't have a steamer, so I use a big pot and then I put in a little stand and a steamer basket in there. And it works as well. I'll show you how to prep the fish, and it is seriously super easy. So this is a golden pompano, and the way that they have butchered it, they've gutted and cleaned it. Vietnamese people, they don't mind having the heads on here, so we kept the head on, but if it makes you uncomfortable, you can obviously cut it off, and that would be fine too. So basically what I do is I just make 3 slits in here. So 3 slits on each side. Okay. And now what you need to do is salt and pepper it. And actually, this is where I kind of like to put I like to stuff it with the garlic. You don't have to do this, but it's because I love garlic, so I like the extra flavor. And you can also put it in the cavity as well. Okay, so then that side's done. I'm gonna flip it over and do the exact same thing. This guy can go here. Okay, and I actually like to stuff a little bit of the ginger inside here. Again, more fragrant. Okay, and this is in here. Then I will sprinkle a few ginger. I have here a bamboo steamer, and I have this just to elevate it, and basically I put this in. Okay, and this looks like I should have dim sum going on, but instead, this is what I'll do here. Okay, and then I put my fish in, and then what I'll do is I'll cover it. And then I'll cover this as well. And sometimes people, if they don't want the steam to drip on there, you can put like a little rag on here and cover it up just so the steam catches there as a trick. I don't think it'll matter this one too much. So, and you steam it for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long or how thick your fish is. We'll let that steam for a little bit, and I'll show you how to do the other stuff. This is a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. You add about 1 tablespoon of water. Just a splash of rice wine or mirin. Then I add about a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. Just mix it up. And you just do that just so it mixes together and dissolves, and you can set that aside. And a couple tablespoons. Heat it up. You add the shallots. I mean, you can't really go wrong with anything crispy shallots at the end. And actually, if you like to make the crispy shallots, you can put this as a topping on a lot of things, not just this, but I love it on this. Wow, that smells so good. It feels like a little bit like cheating, obviously, because I feel like anything that you put crispy fried shallots on, you can't go wrong with it. So I suppose this is a little bit of a modified version of it, because the ones that you'll find at the restaurants or at the wedding receptions, they usually don't do the crispy shallots. You don't want to cook them all the way until they're brown, because they will continue to brown after you turn off the heat. So at this point, I take out the shallots, and I'll keep the oil in here. And when the fish is ready, we will turn on the heat again and heat up the oil and finish it up. Oops. Take this up. I'm going to heat up the oil so that it is really hot, and then we'll finish it up. And this is our sauce from earlier, the soy sauce. What I'll do is I'll pour this over. Okay. More fresh ginger. Okay, that's it. What I like to do is I just like to cut through. Yeah, perfectly cooked. Okay. And a little bit the sauce, shallots. Okay. Yum. The shallot just gives it a nice kick to the end. It's so simple, so good. If you want, you can add chilies to this. You can add cilantro if you want to top that off with it as well. But I like it just like this. It's nice and simple and an easy weeknight meal. And the ginger is just so fragrant. That's a bone. Careful with the bones. It's perfect. Not so bad. Hopefully you get to try it at home, and I really love this recipe, especially because it was handed to me or taught to me by people that I love, my mom and then also my cousins who are wonderful people. So whenever I make this dish, it's like a piece of home for me. So hopefully you try that in your own home and make it your own tradition as well. Coming up after the break, I'm going to show you a really simple dessert called panna cotta with wineberry sauce. It's super easy and something you can make ahead too if you are having a party and you need to get it ready the night before. So I'll show you how to do that and you're going to love it.